afternoon. Welcome to the Extension Hour. We're here in beautiful downtown Conroe on kind of a dreary day, but we're going to have fun anyway today. I'm Josh Merrillet. I'm Family Consumer Sciences Program Assistant with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. And we're here today. We're going to talk a little bit about having a healthy, happy holiday. I call it the ho-ho-ho of eating and hanging out with your family, you know, Santa, ho-ho-ho, but healthy, happy holiday. Anyway, with me today we have Michelle Scaife and also Laura Jorgensen, and they're going to get in the conversation with us here in a little while. First, I want to tell you what's going on at the AgriLife Extension coming up pretty soon. 2017 is not that far away. In January the 28th, there's going to be a fruit and nut tree sale that the Master Gardeners are putting on. That's always a really successful sale, and things go really quick. So if you're looking for some fruits and nuts to grow, you need to get out there. It's on Saturday, again, January 28th, from 9 to 12. There is a program, a little short program at 8 o'clock that they'll do that you can go to also. But the weekend before that, on the 21st, from 9 to 11, our horticulture agent, Mike Potter, is giving a class on how to grow fruit and nut trees. So if you want to, if you're just starting out or you want a little more information and learn how to grow those trees real well, you can go out the weekend before on the 21st, and then the next weekend go out and buy your trees from them. That's always a great time. So what's going on at the Extension right now is we're kind of wrapping up the year, doing all our fun year-end reports and documenting everything that's gone on over the year. And just everybody's been so busy all year. It's just been incredible. Here with us in Family and Consumer Sciences, of course, we did the Walk Across Texas program. We had over 1,000 people in the county participate in that, which was about 149 teams. And the goal is to walk figuratively the distance of Texas. But they actually walked over 230,000 miles, almost 231,000 miles throughout the county, everybody combined. There is an economic impact that we can kind of track as far as missed work days and health insurance costs by exercising and doing that. And just through those miles walked and how many people participated, we can kind of say that over $7 million have been saved in the county through that economic impact by just everybody being active. And hopefully they've continued. That kind of got them in a routine of being active, and they've continued that. And we'll look forward again in just a few months to start up and do that Walk Across Texas program. Families reading every day. We just finished our fall semester. Had about 350 families participate in that. That's always an exciting time. We do those primarily at the Head Start locations, Grangerland, Willis, and then the Early Head Start in Conroe. And the families just seem to really, really enjoy it. And the kids especially love that time. We encourage the families to read, of course, every day, just like the program says. And that really helps the families spend more time together and the parents to be more active in their child's life. And the kids notice that and really like it. One of the parents in particular made us a little scrapbook of her and her daughter, all the books they read. They actually went and got a library card. They had never had one before. And she just told us how much they enjoyed going to the library, and it was a great experience. So that was really neat. Our On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School has been very active. We've done 30 classes this year. Over 350 folks have been through that program, and it's just really exciting. We do those mobile cooking schools anywhere and everywhere, all over the county, and it's by request. So if you're interested in doing a mobile cooking school, it's free of charge, and we can do groups from 6 to 21, and everybody just really enjoys it. It's a good time for families to cook together and learn different recipes and how to eat healthier and help save their budget a little bit. So that's been great. Better Living for Texans, they have been hitting the road, running all year long. so many programs that they do, so much awesome things. I'll let Michelle say a little bit about that here in a little bit if she wants. But I know her and Yvonne have just been all over this county, just teaching classes to parents and students, older folks, younger folks, anybody they can find to just spread their knowledge of nutrition and physical exercise, as well as gardening, too. It's really neat to see the kids grow a garden and then reap the benefits of the things when they harvest. So also our 4-H department has been busy. They're getting ready, getting all their programs together. Before we know it, it'll be roundup time where they'll do all their competitions, and fair time when they show all their animals. So getting all the enrollment done, and everybody's just ready for that. And it's been a year full of activity at the extension office, and it's been a fun year. So that's just a little bit about what we've been up to. So are y'all ready? We're going to talk about this. It's going to be great. Again, have a healthy, happy holiday. And that's what we want to make sure is really important so we can enjoy more holidays. And so let's introduce everybody. I already introduced myself. So Michelle Scaife, say a little bit about yourself.
My name is Michelle Scaife. I am the extension assistant, one of them, for Better Living for Texans at our local office. And the focus of our program is to equip families with the tools they need for some practical, healthy habits to improve their lives, to improve their community, and to really just get them moving and grooving. And like Josh said, we spend time with families throughout our county. We teach hands-on cooking classes. We teach a lot about nutrition and food safety. We help with garden implementation. Several gardens have been built in various community resource centers around our county, some of which are crisis centers, some are our community centers, and then also in our schools.
Yeah, absolutely. Laura.
Hi, I'm Laura Jorgensen. I'm really honored to be asked to join these folks today to be on this radio program. A little bit about myself. My background is medical technology, but I made a transition to public health several years ago, and I've been working with kids and families and community groups with better nutrition and cooking skills, and I really love doing that. Also, I assist people with special needs diets, food allergies, things like that, so families who need some assistance cooking, preparing meals for someone in the family with a special dietary need. I enjoy helping people with that. So I'm really honored to be here. Thank you.
And you've worked with us before in Extension, mm-hmm. And now you're a super awesome volunteer that we just love, and give so much of your time just to help out, especially with the mobile cooking school. And that takes a team just to put together and go around and do all that. So we really appreciate it.
Love the mobile cooking school. It's a great program.
Yeah, it's been fun. So I've enjoyed getting to know you over this year, and
thank you.
I know we're going to have a lot more fun times.
Yes.
So let's talk about making the healthy choices while we're enjoying our holiday meals with the family and the friends. I know our schedule at our house is just full of all kinds of parties, from family get-togethers to church get-togethers, office parties, 4 or 5 of those. I don't know how that happened just last week. But we want to enjoy those times, but we also want to not regret it later, I guess you could say. And we do want to give a little disclaimer before. We are nutrition educators, and that's what we do. And we use the USDA dietary guidelines, which we know is My Plate. However, we do understand that the holidays are a time to enjoy family and friends, and that's always mostly going to include tasty food. You can pretty much guarantee it. So our goal today is to help you make the better choices while you still enjoy all the deliciousness that the holiday has to offer. So we can all kind of agree on those terms and that little disclaimer. We do spend a lot of our year focusing on how much we get of each food group and making sure everything's right in line. But let's cheat a little, but do it smartly, wisely. So we're going to cover topics of the appetizers and drinks kind of while the party's starting. Then we're going to go into the mealtime and what we sit down at the table and the choices we make there. And then we're going to end with the desserts and then the grazing. That's always my favorite part, is the grazing time. So let's start out right from the top. And we're going to get into what's in the punch bowl. And we're going to talk about, like I said, the drinks, the appetizers, and everything that the punch bowl has to offer, just a figurative punch bowl. So when we come back, we'll be talking about that on the Extension Hour.
You're listening to the Extension Hour on irlonestar.com.
At Jazzy Junk, volunteers reclaim, restore, and recycle. Jazzy Junk is a non-profit resale storefront where you will discover wonderful, unique finds at very affordable prices on furniture, antiques, books, art, home decor, and more. When you shop Jazzy Junk, you support New Danville, a community for adults with developmental disabilities. We receive new donations daily, so plan a visit to Jazzy Junk today to find that perfect item or gift. Our motto is here today, gone today. So remember to hurry in and shop often for the best selection. Jazzy Junk is located in the outlets at Conroe on League Line Road and I-45 North. Call 936-441-4500 or visit our website, jazzyjunk.org. That's Junque for more information and store hours.
The East Texas Dream Center is in need of your help. We are a nonprofit Christian organization that houses women and children who are trying to get their lives back after being homeless, abused, or addicted. We are conveniently located at 301 South 1st Street, Conroe, Texas, 77301, right here in Montgomery County. Our needs are financial and every needs of gasoline, cleaning supplies, laundry soap, Lysol, and whatever else God puts in your heart. To help our ladies and children, please consider a donation. You may visit our website at www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Again, so you don't forget, it's www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Donations are tax deductible. Remember what Jesus said, with God, nothing is impossible.
You're listening to the Extension Hour with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. Visit us online at montgomery.agrilife.org.
All right, and we're back at the Extension Hour. My name is Josh Merritt, Family and Consumer Sciences Program Assistant at the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. I'm also here with Michelle Scaife, the Better Living for Texans Program Assistant, and Laura Jorgensen, one of our super-duper awesome volunteers and really, really wise with healthy eating and all the choices we make while we're eating. So we're glad they're both here today. And we are talking about having a healthy, happy holiday, friends and family, and then also being able to enjoy the food that's along with it. That's always there. So we want to make those good choices. By the way, if you enjoy our information or you want to know more about what we do, like us on Facebook at Healthy Living in Montgomery County. And you can just keep in contact with us there and follow our schedule of where we're going to be. It's also a good way to get a hold of us. Send us a message there or find our phone number and our website, Healthy Living in Montgomery County on Facebook. So what's in the punch bowl, Michelle? What do we have in there that all the choices we have when we're meeting with our friends and family? What does that look like?
Well, the punch bowl can be a really dangerous place to hang out when you're at a family gathering or an office party because that's where we really don't realize that we're getting some hidden calories. Mm. Our beverages are often cream-based, like eggnog, or it may be a punch that has some ice cream in there or sorbet. There's wassels and coffees and soda-based drinks. So it's an area that we might want to be kind of careful in because we aren't aware of the fact that, when we fill that little cup and we're sipping it, we're actually consuming a lot more calories than we realize.
Okay, and it's never just one little cup, right? If you're standing there chatting and enjoying the drinks or whatever's there, you kind of just keep filling it up. Or somebody's walking around. Real generous host will always keep your cup full pretty good for you. So you don't really know, I've had 3 glasses of eggnog because it just keeps filling up constantly, right?
Exactly. And we're not saying ever that there's something you shouldn't have if you enjoy and it's your holiday treat to go have a cup of eggnog with your friends at the office, that's completely fine. We just want to be aware of it. We want to be careful about it. And if we are wanting to be shifting towards a little bit better habit or curbing our calories, because we do know that we have several different activities to get to, we can simply make some lower calorie choices. So maybe instead of the eggnog and the punch, we might have something like the wassail or an unflavored coffee that's going to have a lot lower calorie count, if any. And there's always ways that we can balance that out. Maybe after we've had that cup of punch or that cup of eggnog, then stop and have some water. Kind of wash it down, adjust back to a healthier habit, and that'll keep us a little bit more balanced as we're enjoying our treats.
Absolutely. Laura, do you have a favorite holiday drink that you like, the eggnog or the wassail or anything?
Well, I think I like them all. It's a great part of the holiday. It's a great, like you mentioned, a gathering place for guests. So one thing that is a common thing to think about is food allergies and intolerances, sensitivities. They're very common. A lot of people have different issues with foods. And as a good host, it's good to keep in mind that your guests may have an allergy or intolerance, and to either ask them beforehand, ask your guests that are coming to your home if they do have one of these allergies and intolerances, and if so, how can you help them deal with that, get around that with what you're serving. Just try to be mindful of that. Offer something that they can consume, whether it's a drink or a food. It's just a good idea to do. And people with these intolerances, they're pretty aware when they go out that they have to be a little flexible, and usually are okay with asking the host too. So hosts don't be offended if somebody says they can't consume something, and just kind of work with that. So just be a little mindful of that.
Okay, yeah, that's a great point. You mentioned unflavored coffee, Michelle, and I think people say, well, what's wrong with my coffee if I just put a little creamer in it or add a little sugar here and there? But it adds those extra calories that...
It really does, and it's something that a lot of times we just don't think about. A standard cup of coffee is not going to really have calorie to it, but when you add that creamer in, plain cream is about 35 extra calories. Wow. And then if it is flavored, we add up from there. So the more flavoring that's in it, the more sweet it is, the more that we've got a little calorie in there we're not aware of. And it's a great idea as a host or as an office get-together or something to have water, sparkling water, maybe a fruit-infused water. It's great to take just a pitcher of water and put some lemons or some fresh thyme in there and give it a little extra flavor, a little something special to get us going, but to be able to kind of have a little bit of a calorie relief. And it's real important to stay hydrated. One little note to make sure of is alcohol is often present at some gatherings, and alcohol does add some hidden calories we may not think about. Alcohol in and of itself has a lot of sugar in it, and it's something to be aware of and be sensitive to, which also means we need to be careful to be hydrating.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so let's move on. Next to the punch bowl, we have that spread of appetizers sitting there, and all just the deliciousness right there, and the pre-meal. You have to kind of warm your body up, right? and eat a whole bunch, evidently, because that's what everybody does. I don't know. What does that look like when we're standing there around the little finger foods, or maybe even the ham or the turkey that hasn't been cut yet you're kind of picking off of? It might just be me, but some people do that. But and it's usually a social thing. Again, you're standing around talking to everyone. Those finger foods are just so easy to grab and kind of just keep pushing them in, right? So the meats and cheeses, you have the little tray of meats and cheeses versus the chips and dips. What are we looking at there in comparison?
Well, I think in overall, again, a general rule of thumb is something that's creamy or cheesy is going to have a higher fat and calorie content than something that doesn't. If you're watching your calories, if you're trying to be careful or make a healthy shift and maybe save up for that item you really have your eye on later, the fresh fruits and vegetables are always going to be, of course, the first choice, the healthiest choice to make. Meats and cheeses, of course, are better than the chips and dip. A baked chip or a low-fat dip will be a better choice than something that may be fried or maybe a little heavier on the calories there. There's always good options. But if you see something you really have been craving, if there's a little pastry in the corner that you've really got your eye on, a small bite is fine. Just balance it out. Make sure that you're being careful. It's best to use a smaller plate. Kind of get a few things. Be choicey, be choosy, especially if you know that you're going to have a heavier meal later and that your favorite food is in that next serving. So be conservative. Maybe make it more about the conversation and the people. I know in our office party, we had a game that kind of helped to balance out the grazing time, that nibbling appetizer time. We enjoyed laughing and playing and kind of competing, and it gave us a little bit of a distraction from that appetizer table.
Right. Especially office parties can be sometimes awkward and nobody knows what to say, so you just eat to cover up the silence or something. So yeah, the game was really a good idea to take people's time from what it would normally be just eating to doing something, and kind of a little active, we'll talk about physical activity in a little bit. But with appetizers, Laura, what are some good ones that you found that are gluten-free that you really enjoy, that you like to see at parties?
Oh, okay. What I like to see at parties, I'm gluten intolerant, so that's the one I have to be real careful with. But keeping in mind people that are maybe diabetic or have, maybe a lactose intolerance or things like that. What's really nice to see is appetizers that are very plain foods that are separated. So a thoughtful host with this in mind could put separate dishes with maybe meats and maybe another dish with cheeses, maybe a separate dish with vegetables, separate dish with fruits, things like that. So the things aren't mixing. So if someone does have an intolerance to cheese, maybe it's not touching the meat or something like that. Or you're not offering stuffed things like maybe stuffed celery, with something, that they wouldn't be able to eat. So it's just nice to see things kind of separated out, let the guests choose what they can or cannot eat from, and keep it safe for them that way.
Absolutely. And those stuffed things can sometimes kind of be a mystery, especially if you do have an intolerance or an allergy to something, and you're kind of looking, saying, I don't know if that's cilantro or something, or mango that I can't have.
Absolutely.
So I'm just not going to try it because I don't want to risk it.
That's right. And a host also, again, don't be offended if someone asks for your ingredients. They're not trying to steal your secret recipe.
Right.
They probably just want to know, if they can eat it.
Right. They'd rather stay at the party and enjoy it than have to leave. And and we want everybody to enjoy it equally and not have to leave or not have to not come at all.
Yes.
So that's really important. And also, we're talking about the appetizers again, and we're standing there talking, chatting, and the appetizers are there. I think we have a tendency to mindlessly just shovel it in, to lack of a better term. We just keep doing it because it's there and we're not really thinking about it. But, Michelle, you mentioned this morning when we were talking about this, is to actually enjoy the food and taste it. And,
exactly.
Yeah, and actually, wow, they spent their time cooking this, and I really want to taste it. And the slower you eat, you're going to feel yourself filling up, and you're not just going to keep putting it in, right?
Exactly. Savor the flavor. I mean, if you really love pumpkin, we have a coworker who just loves pumpkin. And if there's a dish there that has that in it, someone has taken the time to make it, have a bite, but focus on that bite at that time. Don't do it while you're engrossed in a conversation or while you're playing the game, but make that a moment where you really set aside and enjoy what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with enjoying things. We just want to do so in moderation and be mindful of what we're doing, because it does add up at the end of the day.
Sure. And we talked about with the punch bowl to always have some water, or if it's the coffee you're drinking, have some water with you at all times, which I do everywhere I go. It's usually a bottle in my back pocket, or I leave bottles all over the office and people's desks and everything, but I always have that bottle of water. And if you have that with you while you're standing there, you're able to offset the sweet drinks or something like that, or even the appetizers. And you can take that break of eating or drinking the sweet drinks and take that drink of water or several drinks of water. Just kind of keep hydrated, keep it all washed down. That's good thoughts,
It
right?
is a good thought. And another tip that I know is seen widely in a lot of different nutrition settings is have something before you arrive. If you arrive really, really hungry, the temptation is going to be really great for you. So taking a moment maybe before you head into a gathering and saying, I'm going to have a vegetable and a protein, or some cheese and crackers, or a lunch meat roll-up, something that you feel will satisfy you for the time, but still give you a little room to enjoy a few things. But if you have something ahead and you don't arrive hungry, it's like not shopping hungry.
Right.
Don't go to the grocery store hungry. Arriving at a party very hungry will kind of, hinder our restraint.
Yeah, I know I've done that intentionally. And I kind of honestly hope they're not listening, but I learned it from my parents. It's like, we're going to the family gathering this afternoon. Let's not eat breakfast so we're really hungry. We can enjoy grandma's whatever she made, even more. Or don't waste your appetite by eating breakfast or a big breakfast so you can enjoy the appetizers and then the meal and then the grazing. And it was kind of a family plan. I don't know. That was awful. They shouldn't have ever taught me that. I'm sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. Love y'all. But, and it's true. We're like, we're going to save and wait till we get to grandma's house. And then we're going to go all out and then just be miserable later. So yeah, I like that idea. Do wake up and eat the breakfast, or do have the little snack before you head out, and make sure you're not just absolutely starving to death when you show up, because that doesn't look cool either. You don't want to be that guy at the party that has a plate piled high. So especially when you have a job like we do, they'll say, well, don't you go and teach nutrition classes? Well, yeah, but don't look at me right now. I'm in shame. Got to do that.
Well, and it's easy to focus on ourselves when we're out in a gathering, but something we may want to remember to kind of keep an eye on is the children that are with us. Children sometimes have more strong food sensitivities than we do. They may react differently to food than we do. So kind of be a little bit mindful of what's within reach of the child. What are some things that they're sensitive to? Maybe set them to the back where they're not right in front of them. And that way, later on at the end of the day, if your child isn't feeling well, you can at least somewhat track what they may have been exposed to that may not be sitting right in their system.
Right. You don't get in the car later and the kid says, well, my tummy hurts. And you say, well, tell me what you had. And they just list off this never-ending list of cookies and sodas. And that's a big thing. If the kids see the soda sitting out there and the parents are busy talking, they're just going to keep filling it up, or whatever their temptation is at the appetizer table. They're just going to overload and not know that self-control.
And being small, they may not be aware if they have a peanut allergy that muffin or that cupcake or that dish there may have peanuts in it. So
right.
Just kind of keeping an eye and keeping in mind of what our children are exposed to.
Right. Absolutely. You have good willpower with your appetizing and all that, the grazing, Laura.
Oh, I don't know about that. Willpower when it comes to food? No, I love food. I love to cook. I love to,
Yeah.
So
okay.
who doesn't?
Very good. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about, we're going to get to the table and we're going to sit down and look at the table. So join us just in a minute after these messages, the Extension Hour.
You're listening to the Extension Hour with Texas A&M AgriLife. Visit us online at montgomery.agrilife.org.
SPCA PetSnap of Montgomery County is a 501c3 all-volunteer-based rescue and adoption organization with a no-kill policy for healthy and adoptable animals. Our goals are fourfold: to rescue and rehabilitate homeless animals, to provide a safe haven for the animals until a suitable adoption or foster care home is found or until they are reunited with their owner, to educate the public about the great need to reduce pet population, which includes the importance of having their pets spayed and neutered, and to further the cause for humane and responsible pet ownership, and to provide a low-cost spay-neuter clinic for people who are unable to afford to spay or neuter their pets otherwise. SPCA PetSnap of Montgomery County encourages you to think adoption first. You can contact us at www.spcaofmc.com.
You're going to need me.
You're going to need us.
All of us.
You're going to need our help with your water, your air, Your food.
You're going to need our determination, our compassion.
You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring.
And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Today, 4-H is growing the next generation of leaders.
Heaven's Army of Resources and Recreation Center is a 501c3 nonprofit organization featuring a 10,000 square foot building located at 19325 FM 1485 West, New Caney, Texas. At Heaven's Army, we offer over 26 different services free for all ages, from karate, dance, drug and alcohol classes, anger management, parenting, food and clothing pantries, to just name a few. We are supported solely by volunteers and private donations. Our main mission is to glorify God in all that we do. At Heaven's Army, we strive to be a hand up, not a handout. Come check us out at 19325 FM 1485 West, New Caney, Texas, or call for more information at 281-689-5864. You may also learn more about Heaven's Army by visiting our website at heavensarmyofresources.com.
You're listening to the Extension Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio every Friday afternoon at 1 p.m.
All right, we're back with the Extension Hour. And I'm Josh Merrillet, Family and Consumer Sciences Program Assistant for Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. I'm here with Michelle Scaife, one of the Better Living for Texans assistants in our office, and also our favorite, most super-duper awesome volunteer that just helps us so much, Miss Laura Jurgensen. And we are here talking about having a healthy, happy holiday, getting to enjoy our time with friends and family, and also getting to enjoy all the delicious food that's out and the drinks that are out, and not just completely depriving ourselves to be healthy, but getting to enjoy it while we make good choices. So we talked previously about what's in the punch bowl, and that included all the drinks like eggnog and wassail and coffee, even sodas, and then what's next to the punch bowl, all the appetizers and the good choices we make there, and how to help us make better choices. So that was a good time talking about that, the last segment. Now we're going to talk about the dinner table. We're going to bring it to the table. First, real quick, will y'all tell us how you do, Lauren and Michelle, how do y'all do Thanksgiving or Christmas meals at your house? What's kind of the setup? Is it a pass the bowl? Is it a buffet style? What do you do?
My personal home, this is Michelle. My house is more buffet style. We used to pass the plate, but as we've gotten older and we've got a lot of children in the home and different dietary needs, we do have ours set up more buffet style. So we have a table area where all of the side dishes and main dishes are. We have an area where the condiments are, and we have a separate dessert table. And then there's a beverage area. And then that way when we all sit down to eat, we've got our plate full and only what we chose is in front of us. We don't have, those dishes sitting in front of us just calling our name to pull one more scoop of potatoes out. So ours is more buffet style at our house.
Okay. Laura?
Yeah, ours tends to be more family style, I guess. We do, if we have space, if we don't have extra people around the table and have space to put the dishes on the table, we will do that. But it depends how many people are over, and if we just don't have the room, we will do a buffet style also.
Okay, but does usually everybody sit together and eat, or is it whoever can fit at the table and then the rest are on the couch or outside?
We try and fit them at the table.
Fit them all at the table. Same for you, Michelle.
We do. We strive to fit everybody at the table that we can. The only time we may separate out is if we do have family members that have food allergies. So if there is an allergy issue, we may put a separate table over there. But generally, we try to stay together as much as possible.
Okay, that's great. And that's really what it's all about for the holidays and everything is getting that time with your family, not just separating into your own little areas and congregations or however you do it. So we're at the table. So we all agree we sit at the table to eat. And we're going to call this It Ain't All Gravy. Okay, that's our what's in the punch bowl. Now It Ain't All Gravy. Now I'm going to take you to Meemaw's table real quick, where we eat Thanksgiving and Easter and Christmas. Everybody comes to Meemaw's house, and it's a pass the dish kind of place. The whole table is just filled with a plethora of choices of dishes. almost not even enough room for your plate to fit because of all the dishes. And then as soon as we sit down and say grace, instantly bowls just start passing around the table, and people are reaching and grabbing. Oh, babe, give me, I missed that. Give me that. How did you get that? Where did that go? And it's a mess. It's like, but it's fun. It's like, that's our family. It's kind of chaotic, but that's what we do. But it seems like those bowls never stop going around. There's never a time where everybody's just done serving. And for me, every time I see the bowl come back to me, I'm like, oh, that means I need more. Or it's Meemaw saying, Josh, you need to eat some more. You need some more of that stuffing, or you need some more of those mashed potatoes. So, and I call this grandma guilt, right? You really don't want to upset grandma. She spent a lot of time cooking, and her food's really good. So you just take another scoop, or you take another whatever it is. So what are these choices with all these dishes going around the table? Let's talk about what are these choices we can make, and how do we kind of keep things in mind while we're eating?
Well, I think first of all, as a hostess or a host for the family, there is a tendency to want to put out your best dish. We want to make the traditional meal or something that Grandma made, or Grandma wants to make what Grandma made. And often our choices are a little bit heavy on the calorie, heavy on the fat, maybe a bit salty, may have some sugar in there. We can always trim off calories by taking just a close glance and saying, as a general rule of thumb, a cream-based sauce or a cheese-based sauce is going to have a lot more calorie, a lot more fat to it than maybe. So, for example, if you're having the roast beef, maybe leave off the gravy if you need to shave some calories off your dish. Or if you're having the potatoes, maybe not put that gravy on there. I know.
Oh, no.
Meemaw would be upset. Or have it on one or the other, but not both. So there's always an area where you can kind of trim things down a little bit. If you're having a dinner roll, maybe not put as much butter on it, or not put butter at all. There's always a way. When we have those delicious casseroles are going to have generally a cream base and have a bit more calorie to them. So anytime, the simpler the dish, usually the less calorie is there. So if there's an option for some non-creamy green beans, that might be a good choice, and then you can make an adjustment in another way.
All right. Anything you want to add on that, and making the good choices as the things pass around? Or?
Well, as a gluten intolerant person, if foods are being passed around and you're not sure what's in them, it can be really difficult. So again, as a thoughtful host, it's good to ask and know if a gluten intolerant person's coming to your home for the dinner. And there are things you can do. The traditional Thanksgiving dinner can be just a nightmare for someone who's gluten intolerant, because a lot of the things are made with wheat flour. Of course, wheat has the gluten in it, as do other things like rye and barley, but wheat tends to be our biggest culprit. So things like gravy, a lot of people traditionally thicken it with flour. It's easy to substitute something like cornstarch. That's a good thickener that doesn't have gluten in it. Cream sauces tend to be made with milk and flour, so that's another one that gluten intolerant people can have. Anything deep fried tends to be breaded in flour, so that's a no-no. So these are things to keep in mind, and at least inform people that it does have gluten in it, or be prepared for those questions if they do ask. And think about maybe offering an alternative. There are a lot of ways you can cook gluten-free. That is, the things as far as making traditional dishes often taste very much the same. Sometimes you can't even tell the difference. So there's a lot of ways to do that to make sure that your guests are staying safe and healthy.
Right. Excellent. And I try, and I'm trying more. I'm getting better, I hope. It's just how much I scoop out whenever I'm getting that platter come in front of me, instead of a heaping huge spoon. And that's something you can do as a host too, is put smaller spoons to help people make those better choices, right? So I try not to just overload the spoon and put it on my plate, but just the portions, just enough to taste and appreciate the food, like we talked about earlier. Really tasting the food and all the work that's gone into it. You really want to enjoy it. So portions is a big part of that, right? And we don't want to just pile it on. And me, in my mind, if I can keep separation between the different things I put on there, that means I'm not doing too much. Right. The space is like
not overloading. So if your food's not touching, your plate's not too full.
Right.
Is that where you're going?
Right. Is
that is a good rule of thumb. I mean, a lot of times you're seeing family members you haven't seen for a while. And this may be the only time of year you get to eat grandma's stuffing or Aunt Martha's favorite side dish. And so you don't want to deprive yourself because that really makes you miserable. But you don't want to overdo. And so, a small taste of each of the things that you really want, but make sure you enjoy it. Don't neglect enjoying that flavor. You are here to enjoy what your family has presented. But another thing to keep us maybe from going back too much is to enjoy the conversation, because while food is part of our gathering, so are the people. And the people are really the focus and the heart of the family. So enjoy your meal, savor your flavors, but really embrace the conversation at the table and catch up on, what's Aunt Martha doing, or what's Grandma's latest hobby, or where are the children at these days? What are some of the kids doing? And that can kind of help us to not keep going back for more, but enjoy what we have decided to take.
Yeah, and we can call that chat, don't chew, right?
Exactly.
That's a good way to remember. Let's chat and chew less. Mom always said, don't talk with food in your mouth. So if you're talking, there shouldn't be food in your mouth. And that kind of helps. Even between servings, take time to talk a little bit and then see if you're still hungry before you refill or take that second helping.
Exactly.
And then also, we're talking about earlier with the punch bowl, watch what your kids are taking from the appetizers or from the punch bowl. But also, while you're here at the table, maybe not, especially the younger ones, don't give them just free reign of serving themselves completely, because we want to train them, and it's still our job to bring them up and show them how to make those good choices. So while we're at the table, make sure we're paying attention to the young ones and saying, let's finish the green beans before we get more potatoes, and stuff like that.
Right, and be aware of what it is they're taking, because I'm sure Laura would really like to share is that our children, if they have a sensitivity, their sensitivity is usually a lot more sensitive than an adult. Right. They can have a really difficult time with that. So if we're aware of what they're eating, then we'll know if they may have splurged a little bit or come into contact with something that may give them a little trouble later on in the day.
Excellent. Well, when we come back, we're going to get to my favorite part, and I can't wait, and that's the desserts and then the grazing time. So stay with us. Right after these messages, we'll be back with the Extension Hour.
Listening to the Extension Hour on irlonestar.com.
An estimated 1 in 10 births will result in a neonatal intensive care stay, also known as the NICU. Overnight, a family can find themselves and their newborn baby in a critical situation. The Mila Foundation financially and spiritually assists families in need. If you would like to volunteer or become a monthly sponsor, please visit us at www.themilafoundation.org. Again, that's www.themilafoundation.org, because every life matters.
Want to check out the fastest growing sport in the world? It's right here in Conroe, Texas, and it's roller derby. Conroe Roller Derby is a nonprofit recreational league of women and men who want you to come and check out the fast-paced, hard-hitting game of roller derby. The Conroe Cutthroats practice at Rainbow Roller Rink on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. You can find our game schedule and more information on our website, www.conroerollerderby.com.
You're listening to the Extension Hour with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. Visit us online at montgomery.agrilife.org.
All right, we're back with the Extension Hour. I'm Josh Merritt, Family and Consumer Sciences Program Assistant with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. And I'm here with Michelle Scaife, one of the Better Living for Texans Program Assistants at AgriLife Extension. And also Laura Jurgensen, one of our most awesome volunteers, and we love her to death, and she's here with us. By the way, if you want to check us out on Facebook, go to Healthy Living in Montgomery County, and you can follow us there, like us, give it the thumbs up, and you stay on top of everything we're doing all over the place, and any of the classes that we have that you can make it to. We'd love to see y'all. Or if you want to maybe have a class wherever you're at your workplace or at your school or with your community group, just give us a call or send us a message, and we'll get something scheduled for you. We'd love to be there and help you out. So we're talking about having a healthy, happy holiday. We've gone around the punch bowl and the appetizer table, and we've made our good choices there. Then we've sat down at the big table with everybody, passed around all the platters, and made our good choices with all the main dishes. So now the finale is the dessert table and then the grazing time. So we're going to call this cookies, candies, and pie. Oh, my hips. Put that in. Put that in parentheses. Oh, my. Anyway, let's talk a little bit, Michelle and Laura, about going to the dessert table, approaching it, and what are we thinking when we get up there?
I think the dessert time is sometimes when, especially if we're concerned about our weight or we're concerned or we've had some recent dietary changes, this is a place where we just beat ourselves to death. And there's no need to. It's a holiday. It is a special occasion. And no food is off limits. No food is bad food unless you have an allergy to it or it has adverse effects on your health. But this is a time to just say, what do I really want? If you have been looking forward to pumpkin pie all year,
oh yeah,
grab that pumpkin pie, and enjoy it. If you're gonna have, grandma's brownie cake or whatever it is that you take, make a selection, make a good choice. Think of something that you've really been wanting to do, and go ahead and just take a moment and enjoy it. We have some great tips for how to kind of curb the calories there, but I'll let Laura share anything she wants to share about the dessert table.
Oh, man, the dessert table. My favorite place. In regards to food sensitivities with desserts, a lot of the same things that we've already mentioned. As a thoughtful host, good communication with the people that are going to be coming to your home is critical. Know if someone is celiac, that's someone who can't tolerate any gluten at all in their diet, or if they're simply gluten sensitive. There's a big difference there. Celiac can't have any gluten at all. Gluten-sensitive people, maybe they can eat the filling of the pumpkin pie and just throw the crust aside, something like that. So really get to know, what your guests are dealing with. If they have a specific allergy to something, if it's pineapple or cilantro or something like that, make an effort to serve that thing on the side. Instead of mixing it into the main dishes, so that they can enjoy the dish and your other guests can add that ingredient in if they want it. Always having a mind towards alternatives for anyone that might be coming to your home with a sensitivity. We really appreciate that.
Yeah,
so we can enjoy the meal, as best we can.
Right. Especially keep in mind if a niece or a nephew is bringing over a new boyfriend or girlfriend or fiance that is coming for the first time, and they might have one of those allergies or sensitivities. You don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. You want to make sure that you're thinking of everybody, even the people you haven't met yet, and
That's
make
right.
sure they enjoy their time there. So just ask, and it's okay to ask.
It's okay to ask.
Exactly. And if you're the new person that's coming and you know that you have something, I have food allergies too, and it's not a bad idea to bring something yourself that you are able to have. I have an allergy to cilantro, so I might bring a salsa that I know I can have. So it's never a bad practice, especially if you're being introduced to a new group of people, to bring something for yourself that's enough to share with everyone, but there's something there you can eat so that it's not singled out and uncomfortable.
Right. And as a host, it's okay to ask. And as the guest coming, it's okay to tell, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
To say, hey, I know, if I were to tell my wife and I'm meeting her family for the first time, say, hey, will you please mention to your grandma that I have this allergy or I have this whatever sensitivity? It's okay. Don't feel too shy. I know it's kind of hard to talk about with the new folks you might be meeting or something, but just communication always.
Absolutely. Good communication.
Yeah, because you do want to protect your guests and make sure no one has to leave, to go home to get medicine or pull out the EpiPen or whatever it may be. You don't want that.
Right.
That's just, you don't want that. So we're standing at the dessert table. We have our options. We have our options that are okay for our sensitivities and our allergies. What are we going to do to make sure we're making the healthy choices with the foods we can eat.
Well, of course, we know that fresh fruit is always the best sweet treat if we're watching our calories and if there's a need for that. A fresh food item, a parfait, something of that nature, a yogurt-based dish would be wonderful. But we also know that, Mama made apple pie or Grandma made sweet potato pie. So there's going to be some things there that we really may lose our conviction over and say, I think I'm going to go ahead and indulge in my one-year treat. And that's fine. Some ways to shave a little bit of calorie off that is maybe if you're having that pumpkin pie, maybe leave the whipped cream off, and that will save you some calories there. My husband and I like to grab 2 forks and share it. Or grab a child and share, hey, would you split this piece of pie with me? Would you share this brownie with me? As a hostess, sometimes it's great to offer bite-sized things, a bite-sized cheesecake or bite-sized brownies, or, cut the portions a little smaller. But if those portions aren't cut small, there's no shame in cutting it down, walking up to that pie dish and cutting that piece of pie a little smaller or cutting that brownie smaller. I don't think there's any harm in that. You're kind of protecting yourself a little bit.
Sure. Absolutely. I like the bite-sized idea. Make the miniature apple pies, maybe, the little tiny ones. Or as a host or whoever's preparing the desserts, when you do cut it a little smaller. Don't entice people with that huge piece of apple pie or chocolate pie is my favorite. Help them make that choice beforehand so they don't have to have that battle in them,
Exactly.
Make those pieces a little smaller. And then options for low sugar and no sugar is important too, to know who has diabetes. And you want to make sure there are some options there. Or even if you don't have the diabetes, take the no sugar option, because then it's still healthier for you, right? It's still the chocolate pie with no sugar.
You've shaved some calories off your choice.
Calories. There you go. What are some final notes that we can do to make our holiday time with all the family and friends complete and just end the whole party? What?
Well, I know with our family gatherings and with some of them that we've done in the past, get moving. After that meal, maybe have an activity planned where you're going outside and playing a game, or you're going out and we live on a small farm. We've taken the children horseback riding or taken the time to get the activities going. So that also kind of burns off some of those calories we may have consumed.
Yeah.
So get the family outside or get out in your community. Distract yourself a little bit by that. But let's also stop and make sure of the food danger zone. Let's make sure those holiday leftovers are getting popped in the fridge within 2 hours.
For the grazers, they don't want to get the gas, right?
And that will slow the grazing down. If you put the food away, you can't really graze on it as well because it's in the fridge, right?
That's right.
It's a little bit more work to get to it.
That's good. So I like that, adding that physical activity aspect in after you had that big meal. Get the family moving and encourage them to be active and healthy. So I think we've had a good show. I think it's been some good times, some good observations and tips. I hope folks have enjoyed it. I hope they make those I hope I make those choices that we've talked about. Maybe somebody should text me and remind me, hey, listen to your radio show that you did before you go to that dinner or something. So thank y'all so much for being on the show.
Absolutely.
And look doing this again. And this has been the Extension Hour. I'm Josh Merrillet. And thank y'all for listening. We'll see you next time.